Welcome to Centinela de Cristo.
Blessings, this is Pastor Luis Luciano from Oklahoma. Friday, February 21st. Further thought. Read Ellen G. White, God with Us, pages 19 to 26 in The Desire of Ages. The plan of our redemption was not an afterthought, a plan formulated after the fall of Adam. It was a revelation of the mystery which had been kept in silence through times eternal. Romans 16:25. It was an unfolding of the principles that from eternal ages have been the foundation of God's throne. From the beginning, God in Christ knew of the apostasy of Satan and of the fall of man through the deceptive power of the apostate. God did not ordain that sin should exist, but he foresaw its existence and made provision to meet the terrible emergency. So great was his love for the world that he covenanted to give his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. Ellen G. White, The Desire of Ages, page 22. Discussion questions. If God does not always get what he wants, how does this fact impact the way you think about what occurs in this world? What are the practical implications of understanding that God has unfilled desires? If we go back to the cake analogy in Thursday's study, we can understand why. Even though God and Christ knew of the apostasy of Satan, they went ahead and created us anyway. Love had to be in the mix, and love meant freedom. Rather than not create us as beings able to love, God created us so that we can love. But he did so knowing that, ultimately, it will lead Jesus to the cross. What should it tell us? How sacred, how fundamental love was to God's government, that Christ will suffer on the cross rather than deny us the freedom inherent in love. Often, we lament the evil and suffering in this world. But how often do you take time to ponder that God himself laments and is grieved by suffering and evil? What difference does it make to your understanding of evil and suffering when you recognize that God himself suffers because of evil? How does this truth that many things happen in this world that God does not will help you deal with your own suffering, especially when it doesn't make sense and seems to lead to no good at all?